What's up, Rooted Collective? Welcome back to Awakened and Rooted, where the veil is thin, the vibes are deep, and the stories will make you question everything. If you are into the spiritual, the metaphysical, and the downright unexplainable, you are in the right place. Let's dive in.
Some folks dance with the devil and walk away, but Lila Mae, she danced, and the devil never let her go. Lila Mae was already in her 70s when all that trouble started. Bones popping when she moved, hands wrinkled up like riverbeds going dry. But don't let her age fool you. There was still a spark in that old gal, a spark that could light the whole woods on fire if she wanted. They say one night under a sky blacker than sin, Lila Mae went dancing, out there in the fields, twirling slow with the man whose feet didn't quite touch the ground. Wasn't no man though, it was the devil himself, smiling too wide, holding her too tight. And Lila, she laughed. A few days later, she danced with him again, different face this time, but the same empty eyes. Danced with the devil once, maybe you can wipe the dirt. You danced with him twice though? Well, he starts thinking you belong to him. After that, something in Lila Mae started to break. Some Sunday mornings, you find her sitting in the back of the church, crying into her hands, praying like she was trying to drown out the devil's whispers in her ears. Other days, folks swear they saw her run, screaming down the old desert road, like she was running from hell itself. They say one night, Lila Mae set a table with bones, old bones, and clapped her hands over them, singing words that didn't belong to this side of life. And something answered back. Now Lila wasn't all darkness. She loved her grandson something fierce, taught him how to sew buttons on a shirt, cook biscuits from scratch, even sat and laughed with him, like none of that dark stuff ever touched her. She tried real hard to be something good again, even went back to teaching little ones in town. But there was a secret she couldn't scrub clean. In her cellar, that old stone one behind the house, there was another her. Two Lila Mays, standing face to face, both of them talking on old phones, saying the same words, breathing the same breath. Time passed mean and heavy. Her grandson, sweet boy, got mixed up bad. Next thing you know, he's locked behind a glass wall, sitting in a chair too big for him. And Lila Mae, she stood up in court, pleading to the jury, voice cracking, begging them to see the good in him, the good she fought so hard to teach him. But the night before they gave their verdict, Lila went down into that cellar. Had to. Something was calling her. But what she found, Lord, it chilled the blood. The devil was waiting, standing there in the dark, wearing her face like it was stitched on new. He didn't roar, he didn't growl. He just leaned in close, lips brushing her ear, and said soft as cotton, I didn't want your soul, Lila Mae. I came for your life. And that clone, that empty, hollow thing, stepped forward, grinning with her own smile. Come morning, it would be that thing sitting in her church pew, that thing teaching her grandson, that thing walking her streets. While the real Lila Mae, she be locked in the dark, forgotten. And baby, if you ever see Miss Lila Mae around these parts, you best look twice, real close, because it might not be her at all.
Listen, this was so good. I am absolutely going to subscribe to POV Cam 71 on TikTok. This was so good.
Did y'all know that Papa Legba might have visited the set while they were filming American Horror Story and caused some crazy stuff to go on? Now let's talk about it. Before I get into it, know for the 100th time, this is not what the real Papa Legba looks like. He looks more like an old man sitting in the rocking chair. But on the show American Horror Story Season Coven about the witches based in New Orleans, this is how they portrayed him. More so like the other Haitian deity named Barun Samedi. And please excuse me for my pronunciation. But with that being said, actor Gabourey Sidibe, she was the only black witch on the show. Well, other than Marie Laveau. But she talked about her real life experiences on set and how they literally had to stop production because it was getting too real. So on the show, they had to do real life Latin chants while they were summoning Papa Legba, y'all. And the whole thing about this show is it is real life American horror stories. So this stuff that they're getting isn't just random stuff that they're just coming up with. This is real life stuff, real life people's culture, real life deities. They're using real chants to summon these people. Like this stuff is real. So on one of the scenes, they had to lay down on the ground flat on their back to do the chant to summon Papa Legba, or to get to the other side. And there was this light fixture that just kept moving, like just kept moving every time they would do the chant. Only when they would do the chant, y'all. They would stop doing the chant, the light fixture would stop. They would start back and it would start back. One day, it literally almost crashed on someone. It fell down and broke a whole light fixture, y'all. Like, just think one of them big production light fixtures. So that was strike one. Then she stated how she felt like a finger moving up her chin, and it felt like the finger was getting bigger and bigger. Then one day she was in her little trailer outside of production, and she heard like scratching and screeching and eerie noises outside. Open the door, nobody out there. After that incident, she was literally panicking so bad, y'all, that they wanted her to go to the hospital. And she was like, you know what, I'm not going to go to the hospital because I know this is deeper than anything that these people at the hospital can do for me. So she went home and called her Catholic friend. Basically, her friend came over there and recited the St. Michael's prayer, which is basically this Catholic prayer for protection against the devil and evil spirits. And she said after that, everything went smoothly. Now, me personally, I don't think it was Papa Legba that they summoned. Probably was something totally different. But it's insane to me that they was using real life Latin chants. Like, they can literally use anything other than a real life chant. But Gabourey Sidibe has talked about it like several times. Like, it was just so scary. She said she literally shouted out, pray, pray, everybody needs to pray. Like, y'all pray right now. Y'all think this is a joke. Like, she was real life scared for her life. And the fact that she was the only black woman doing these real life chants on the set, and it only happened when they did the Latin chants. Yeah, y'all wouldn't have to worry about me saying no more chants after that. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, and if y'all think it was Papa Legba or something deeper, because I honestly don't even think it was Papa Legba. I think it was something else that they summoned that they should have left alone. They're gonna learn messing with stuff they don't have no dealings with or have no education about. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Like, why absolutely would you use a real chant? Why are you playing with things like she said that you have no idea about? You gonna learn. And they learned when somebody almost got hurt by that light fixture. Somebody learned. Okay, do we feel like this was a setup? Those kids did not seem scared. That little girl did not seem scared in the least. But this is the creepiest thing I have ever seen. Like, grown folks don't have nothing else to do but play with kids and dress up in baby clothes. Like, this is ridiculous. I mean,
Remember the friends?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember. Please get out. Please get out of my apartment. Please go of my apartment.
A man who she doesn't know suddenly appears in her apartment. He most likely walked in after seeing the door was unlocked. Now, while it's unsure if they caught him, viewers are completely baffled by something else in this video. Somehow, the door opens on its own right when Jeanette is heading towards it. In the heat of the moment, she didn't realize this until much later when, despite this terrifying encounter, nothing would prepare her for what occurred only a few nights later. As she writes, "I have no words to explain this." While trying to record a cute video with her cat, this happens.
Ma'am, your little apartment is cute and everything, but I'm gonna need you to get up out of there. First of all, some man walked into the front door, just walked into the front door. Whatever spirit was in there was on your side because it opened that door so you can get the hell out of there. But then whatever this was that happened a couple of days later, I'm gonna need you to get up out of there.
Now hush and listen close. There's a tale folks around here don't like to speak too loud, 'cause it's about a girl who fell in love with something not quite human. And the ones who tried to warn her, they only pointed. There was a girl, pretty thing, soft-hearted, always looking for love in strange places. And one day she met a man walking out the woods, tall, handsome, spoke like a hymn, smiled like salvation. But the folks around her, they saw something different. They didn't see no man. They saw a bone. They saw fur. They saw legs bent backwards like a deer struck by lightning, and eyes, black and endless. They tried to warn her. 3 of them pointed, said not a word, just stared at that thing beside her with tears in their eyes. But she couldn't see it, not what they saw. To her, it was love. He was safety, she said. Y'all just jealous. Y'all don't see what I see. And she was right. We did it. They say he put a trick in her eyes, some kind of old forest magic. So she followed him, deep into the woods, laughing like a girl in spring. Last anyone saw her, she kissed him beneath a cricket tree. And when she opened her eyes, she saw the truth. The bones, the fangs, the hunger. She screamed once, just once. Then the wind went still, the woods went quiet, and the bone man walked on. So if you ever see folks pointing in silence to the left, don't ignore it. Don't follow no sweet-talking strangers in the woods, 'cause love don't always come with roses. Sometimes it wears a skeleton smile.
This POV cam is fantastic. As soon as I finish doing this video, I am subscribing. Sorry y'all about the lighting. It is super gray outside and my camera is going crazy. I am trying to keep it as light as I can, but these clouds are super dark. And here's another one from POV Cam 71.
My grandpa was a wizard. I used to whisper when folks asked why strange things always seem to happen around our family. Not the kind with the pointy hat and a wand. Nah. Grandpa was a black man in the 1950s. Pressed slacks, shiny shoes. Folks called him Mr. Lee, and everybody gave him respect. 'Cause when he walked by, even the dogs quieted down like they knew better. He didn't show off. He dealt with hush things. Jars buried beneath porches, whispers caught in knots of red string, salt lines you better not cross. Mama said he once made a sheriff's car break down every time he came near our street, and sure enough, that man had to walk 4 miles just to apologize to Grandma for calling her gal in public. But here's the part folks don't talk about much. One summer, the crops failed 3 towns over. Babies came sick and animals started turning in circles like they were dizzy from something wrong in the wind. Folks got scared. Scared folks get stupid. They came marching down our dirt road with torches, shouting about devil spirits and devil's work. One of them hollered out, "We come."
I hate that they cut that off. That would have been a good story, but they cut it off. And the rain just started pouring. Like, today is a good day to watch these like paranormal TikToks.
I'm gonna try this for the second time because when I recorded the first time, it was no audio recorded. But now I'm just gonna speed it up. This is what happened when the ghost followed me home from New Orleans. When we were leaving New Orleans and we were all in the car, I felt that there was a man with me, and I told everybody in the car there was a man with us, and we all did our own little separate prayers to try to get him to go ahead and stay where he was at, and he couldn't come with us, right? Of course, sometimes it doesn't always work depending on the people that you're around and all that. So I get back to Atlanta. About 3 or 4 days after that, things start moving around in my house, okay? One, I start realizing that there's somebody peeking around corners in here like this. And I would see shit like this. So after seeing that a lot, I started to acknowledge the spirit, like, who are you? What do you want? Get out, you know? And then it started touching stuff in here. So this was me and my girlfriend was going through this where we would be sitting somewhere alone and things start moving around in the house. There was a time where I was sitting over here on this couch, and all the way across the room over here, I saw my shoe slowly lean and fall off of something. There was a different time I was sitting right here on the couch, and you see that bag over there? That bag is hooked onto some clips. It unhooked itself and fell to the floor. Dead silent in here. I'm chilling, sitting on the couch by myself, and I just have to look up and be like, stop touching shit, right? So this was the ongoing theme for about a week and a half in my house. Was like things were moving around. They didn't have no business moving around. And I talked to my girlfriend about it. She had been seeing something walking around in the house. Things had been moving around, and she had felt something poke her. Now, this is when I knew that it was getting serious. I could feel him, and I could see things about him in my mind's eye. I could see what he looked like. I could see about how old he was. I could see what his energy was like. I could see what he was wearing. So I was starting to get a feel and an idea for him and like why he was around. Wasn't a bad guy at all, kind of like a guy that like died young in his early 20s, and I was just the only light that he could see in that area, so he followed me all the way home. But I was laying in the room, right? I went to go take a nap. My girlfriend told me like, go ahead and take a nap. So I went in the room to take a nap. She was out here in the kitchen where I'm currently at. I'm in the bedroom on the end of the bed taking a nap, right? Laid underneath of like this extra little blanket or whatever, just laying on the end of the bed. I felt her walk into the room, and you know where you can kind of hear the air change or whatever, like when somebody's coming close to you. I felt her and heard her walk into the room, and it felt like she walked into the room, looked at me, noticed I was asleep, and then touched my head and gave me a kiss and walked out. Now, when she walked in, when I heard her walk in the room, I woke up. My eyes was closed, but I woke up. I thought she was going to ask me something. So I woke up, and I felt the fingertips touch the back of my head, and I felt my head kind of get this weird little tingle on the inside, and I felt the really, really light. And I turned directly around, and the room was empty. So I sat up, and I said, oh, okay. Came out here and noticed she was in the kitchen. Told her what happened as soon as it happened, right? So after that, I honestly sat in here one day when he started moving shit around again and fucking with the lights. Like, he was making the lights flicker and stuff. So I told him that he had to leave. But the thing about me is I don't just like banish spirits to go and you know, haunt somebody else. I send you on your way. So I called in my angels and my spirit guides and my ancestors to come in and help this guy move on if he was willing to do so. And he was willing to do so. He just didn't know where to go or how to do it. So we helped him. He moved on. He's gone. My house is clean. That was the spirit I brought with me from New Orleans. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this experience. If you went to New Orleans and brought something back with you, if you're from New Orleans, if you've ever been haunted, if you're a medium, whatever, let me know in the comments.
Well, it is a good thing whatever that was that she brought back from New Orleans was something that was, do I want to say benevolent? Or it was a good spirit and it seemed to kind of care about her. Because otherwise, girl.
This is why I don't have mirrors in my house, because they're literal portals to other dimensions. So this fellow was alone at home and started hearing strange sounds. Freaked out, he started to film to try capture the sounds to prove to his girlfriend that he wasn't imagining things. He really wasn't expecting this to happen. Watch this.
No, 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 no! Ah, no, 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 não é possível! Que isso?
Follow me for your dose of nightmare fuel.
Didn't I tell you not to sleep with your damn bed right across from a mirror because mirrors are portals? That's what you get.
The reason I had to move out of my flat. I was home alone.
No, I don't know what I saw. I don't know what that was.
Tell me, what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life and why you still think about that moment?
I'm about to let y'all into a little portion of my life. Do not judge me. I'm just going to be completely honest, okay? So I'm a mother of 6. Now, I had my first child when I was 14, my second one when I was 16, my third one when I was 17, my fourth one when I was 18. Now, this story revolves around the child I had when I was 18. So I met my ex-husband when I was 15, and we had our first child when I was 16, meaning I had one prior to that. So I gave birth to a little girl, my second one, with my ex-husband, which would be his first. Then we had a son. Then I was pregnant at 18 with my next daughter. Keep all this in mind. So while I'm pregnant, me and my ex-husband, we were house hunting because he had done got a good job. He had been working good for a while. We done stacked some money up. Well, he done stacked some money up for us. But nonetheless, you know, it's just. So y'all, we come across this beautiful house. I mean, beautiful. And when we come across it, they're remodeling it. They're opening up spaces. They doing all kinds of construction to it. It is going to be a brand new, totally new house when it's finished. So when we come across it, we mess around, see the workers in there. They give us the number of the people who own it. We call them. They like, you give us the deposit, we'll save the house for you. So we with the shit. So we like, yeah, cool. Now, y'all, this is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath house. Full 2-car garage, a full upstairs attic, and then what they would call a washroom behind the garage. And the backyard, immaculate. You hear me? I mean, it is gorgeous. You just had to be there. But you really had to be there to know all the creepy stuff that was getting ready to occur. And it was several people there who can actually coincide with my story. So, the day I give birth to my daughter is the day the people call and say, hey, the house is ready. Oh, but I just gave birth, right? My baby daddy didn't care about none of that. He moved us in while I was in hospital. And then the rent was dirt cheap. That's when we should have knew something was wrong. So this is the very first occurrence of when I knew it was some shit going on. Y'all, it was cold as hell in there. And it's early August. And I live in North Carolina. And if you know anything about North Carolina, it's hot. It's 90 degrees in early August. So I'm opening up doors and windows, cleaning up and stuff, you know, getting the house put together because my baby daddy going to work. He done moved us in. So I got to do something while I'm there. Y'all, on the second night, I'm sitting in there. My daughter's crying. I'm making her a bottle. I see her bottle on the countertop. It moves from one end of the countertop to the other. Then back to where it started. Come back for part 2.
I'm sick of her. Come back for part 2.
I don't have nails like that. Like, it's not me.
¿Qué haces despierta a esta hora?
Staring at my ceiling right at work, and then like I see this light right, and I go over here. What is that?
Oh my God. Okay. So most of those were pretty good. That first one was completely fake. It had to be, because when somebody grabs your hand, your skin, they are not grabbing it with the front part of their hand. You are not going to see your nails and your knuckles pressed into their skin. You'll see this side of your hand pressed into their skin. I don't know how they did that, but that was not real.
My grandma's house was extremely haunted. I don't know what happened on that land or in her house that made it so active, but that place was flooded with spirits. This was the kind of place that you did not want to stay overnight. It was bad enough being there during the day. My whole family had a lot of bad experiences in that house, but I always felt like something was really clinging to me for some reason, and I couldn't figure out why. This thing would not leave me alone. So this one day when I was 7 or 8 years old, I was out crawfishing. That was one of my most favorite things to do. I'm leaning over the ditch bank, over the water, and I got my shovel down in the mud digging this big crawfish out. And when I just happened to glance at the reflection, I saw someone standing behind me, so I turned around, but there was nothing there. But I'm determined, and this is the biggest crawfish I ever seen, so I keep digging hard as I can. So I'm shoveling, throwing mud and water behind me like this, trying my best to get this damn crawfish, until I heard my name. Someone right there said, Alicia. So me thinking it was one of my elders, I stopped digging, turn around and say, what? But nobody was there. Now I knew it wasn't my grandparents because they never walked out that far in the woods to find us because we knew to be home by dark. So I start walking around asking, who called my name? What is it? And nobody answers me. So by now I'm shitting. I done lost that crawfish, lost my train of thought. So I get my bucket and shovel and I start walking back towards the house. And I get the weirdest feeling that somebody's walking behind me. So just like you see in the movies, I take off running. And behind me, I can hear a doot, doot, doot. When I turn around and look, I don't see nobody there until I got to Grandma's house. I turned around and that was when I seen a dark silhouette floating behind me. I didn't know what the hell it was and I weren't about to find out, so I ran faster than Forrest Gump and got back to the house. Of course, I'm all jacked up trying to tell Grandma what just happened, but she's dismissing me and telling me that I need to wash my hands, take my boots off, and get ready for supper, so I do. And we had a big family at this time and we all stayed in the house, and I remember this one night, my uncle had this really hot girl over that he'd been dating. So him and this girl go into his bedroom and they start fooling around, and the next thing I knew, I heard his girlfriend screaming to the top of her lungs, and she come darting out the house naked as a jaybird. My
grandma goes outside with a big blanket and wraps her up and tries to get her to come back in the house and calm down, but she refuses. She says, I'm not ever going back into your damn house, ever, and then she leaves naked. A few days later, my mama runs into her at the store and she said, girl, what happened? Did he do something? Did y'all fight? Like, why did you run out like that? She said that her and my uncle were doing the deed, and when they got done, she was sitting on the edge of the bed, you know, looking for her drawers, bra and socks and all that, and then he walked out to the bathroom. Well, about 30 seconds later, he comes back into the room, pushes her down on the bed, and starts kissing and groping and fooling around, and she pushes him off and says, I gotta go, I'm in a hurry. And then she claims that his eyes turned black and his face began to change, so she took off running, and when she came out into the hallway, that was when she saw my uncle coming out the bathroom. So she looks back in the bedroom and looks at him in the hallway. She just takes off running naked. She only came back one time years later, and she wouldn't even come all the way in the house. She stood at the front door and wanted to keep the door open so she could leave whenever she wanted. Now, I got a lot of these about my grandma's house. If you want to hear them, let me know in the comments.
That was enough. That girl, listen, I'd leave all my stuff behind too. Can't explain it. So that is the end of today's video. This was a good time. So let me know down in the comments what you thought about the different videos that I shared with you today. And until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.